Good afternoon, Chair Cahill and members of the committee. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify here today and urge you to report out H2689, an act relative to the requirement of explosive gas sensor devices. And this bill takes a simple yet life-saving step. It requires the installation of explosive gas detectors in residential dwellings that use appliances fueled by explosive gases like furnaces, ovens, fireplaces, boilers, and water heaters. It mirrors the existing requirements for carbon monoxide detectors, applying a similar logic and safety standards to a different but equally dangerous risk. These detectors are commercially available, affordable, and similar to the smoke and CO2 detectors that we all now take for granted. And just like those, they are designed to alert residents early enough to prevent catastrophe. And in fact, Mr. Chairman, I gave you an example of a commercially available, it's a natural gas and CO2 detector. It's not a smoke detector. Gas is heavier than air, so you mount these lower on the floor, and in addition, there is a representative from the company who is signed up to testify, so I'll let him go into the details, but I wanted to let you have that and pass it around to the members so they can see what it's all about. Let me be clear, the legislation is not a blanket mandate. It's if no risk of explosive gas exists in a dwelling, no detectors are required. But for homes where explosive gas is used, a detector can mean the difference between life and death. Tragically, we've seen what can happen without these devices. In fact, in 2015, Franklin residents Nancy and Robert Brown lost their lives in a catastrophic propane explosion at Oak Hill Village townhouses. They were asleep when a leak occurred. There were no explosive gas detectors in the home, and the official investigation confirmed that a propane leak caused the explosions. Their furnace and fireplace were fueled by propane, and although the gas was properly odorized, we know that odorization does not wake sleeping individuals. Their son and daughter-in-law, Jason and Susan Brown, they're here today, and they're going to testify about that event and what it meant for their family. So this legislation is in response to that tragedy and to many others. It's a common sense safeguard to help prevent another family from suffering the same fate. The RV industry already mandates that gas detectors in recreational vehicles through NFPA 1192, and propane tank storage is regulated under NFPA 58 and 54. There is currently no requirement for gas detectors in homes, despite the fact that residential dwellings carry the same, if not greater risks. H2689 closes that gap. It empowers the Board of Fire Prevention Regulations to establish the technical standard and regulatory framework. And this ensures that implementation will be practicable, enforceable, and aligned with best safety practices. In short, this bill is about modernizing our safety standards and protecting lives. We owe it to families like the Browns and to every Massachusetts resident to act before the next tragedy strikes. So I thank you for your consideration, and I respectfully ask that you support and release H2689 favorably from the committee. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Representative Amy.
Cahill, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify. For less than a monthly phone, cable, or streaming subscription, a bag of dog food, a new shirt, a haircut, a manicure, a dinner out, a tank of gas. Think about what $25 can buy you. It's not hundreds, thousands, or millions. It's a small price to pay to save a life, to save lives, to save those you love. This device costs $22.99. For $23, my in-laws, my husband's parents, my boys' grandparents would still be here. They would have been here for more birthdays, holidays, vacations, and more memories. For $22.99, our family would not have been broken. 10 years ago this October, my in-laws, Nancy and Richard Brown, or as we call them, Mimi and Pop, were killed in a home explosion due to a propane leak. They had retired to Florida in 2004, and in 2015, they moved back to Massachusetts to be closer to family, including my 3 young boys, and niece, who were ages 2, 6, 8, and 9 at the time. Mimi and Pop had moved back from Florida that September after purchasing a new construction 55-plus condo in Franklin. It was supposed to be a new chapter in their lives. So much future ahead. They were only 65. In fact, the last time we saw them was to celebrate Mimi's 65th birthday at their new condo. Our last memories with Mimi and Pop were in that condo. But on October 10th, 2015, while they slept, there was a propane leak in their basement. A leak that went undetected, a leak that led to an explosion that took both their lives. An explosion that could have been prevented if only they had a propane detector. Our lives were turned upside down that October morning, but all this heartache could have so easily been prevented. We are required to have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, but there is no law that requires propane detectors. This means that many other Massachusetts families are also at risk for a similar tragedy. The past 10 years have not been easy. This trauma will last forever with my husband, our 3 boys, my sister-in-law, my niece, and myself. My family endured some very dark days, and it has been a long road. And our family may never have closure, but if we could save one life by passing this, the death of my in-laws would not be in vain. For Mimi and Pop, thank you for your time.
Are you testifying as well, so you don't? Okay. Just 1 second, maybe questions. Sorry for your loss.
Good afternoon, Chair Cahill, members of the committee. My name is Chris Brazee, and I'm testifying in strong support of H 2689 on fuel gas alarms and detectors. I'm here on behalf of the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA. NEMA is the leading trade organization representing America's electro industry and fire and life safety product manufacturers. H 2689 takes a critical step forward in building safety by requiring fuel gas detection in buildings, since fuel gas detection is not required currently in the ICC, International Code Council, and NFPA, National Fire Protection Association model codes. NEMA believes this legislation improves protection of life and property in a cost-effective manner in line with expert recommendations and existing standards. Gas ignition continues to be a major source of structural fires across the country. Per a 2024 NFPA research report, there are an estimated 8,500 home structure fires per year with the ignition of natural gas and LP gas. On an annual basis, those fires lead to 79 fatalities, 293 serious injuries, and 180 million in property damage. Following a natural gas leak accident in Silver Spring, Maryland in 2016, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, made a recommendation to the International Code Council to adopt methane detection requirements in every residence to prevent future accidents. Massachusetts would also not be the first state to require fuel gas alarms in a broader set of buildings. Maine passed a requirement for fuel gas alarms in 2022, requiring them in many types of homes and buildings. In addition, we've seen a rollout from Con Edison of New York, among other utilities, to install natural gas alarms above the gas service point of entry of each residence that directly connect to the utility. They are currently on their 6th year of full deployment and have installed more than 275,000 alarms to date, with a goal of 380,000 alarms by the end of 2025. It's also demonstrated in this program that there have not been false or nuisance alarms in a significant amount, and the early warning detection has prevented several potentially serious incidents, as has been noted by the FDNY, who have publicly recognized the safety value of natural gas alarms and strongly support the program. NEMA believes this legislation leverages industry standards and that it will lead to a protection of life and property, and as such, we strongly support H 2689 as written. Thank you for your time. We're happy to work with the committee, discuss the issue further at your convenience. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Chairman Cahill and members of the Joint Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security. And thank you to Representative Roy for his leadership on this important issue. My name is Jason Kalm. I'm the Northeast Director for Kidde. Kidde has been a global leader in home fire safety detection and suppression since 1917, with an estimated 400 million alarms installed in over 90 million homes. Each day we work to expand upon our legacy of innovation, providing advanced solutions to help protect people and property from fire and related hazards. I'm testifying today in strong support of House Bill 2689, which if passed would help reduce the risk of death or injury due to hazardous gas alarms, by requiring certified fuel alarms that support early detection and pertinent infrastructure. According to the National Fire Protection Association, a major gas leak incident or explosion is reported to the federal government every 40 hours in the U.S. And natural gas ignites 4,200 homes each year, and an average of 125,000 residential natural gas or liquefied petroleum gas leaks annually. Unfortunately, Bay Staters are particularly vulnerable to gas leaks due to an aging gas infrastructure and the number of homes heated by gas. Roughly half the homes in the state are heated by gas. Members of this committee probably recall the Merrimack Valley explosions of 2018, in which one young person tragically lost his life and over 30,000 others were forced to immediately evacuate their homes. In the wake of this incident, the USA Today reported that 1 out of every 4 miles of gas mains in Massachusetts has been installed prior to 1940. Improving early detection and infrastructure where people are most vulnerable is the most logical step to help keep more people safe. House Bill 2689 would accomplish this and ensure the devices are dependable by requiring certification to applicable consensus standards. Requiring certification ensures that devices are designed and tested to meet the performance requirements, in this case UL 2075 and UL 1484, developed by the UL Standards and Engagement. More specifically, UL 1484 specifies requirements for residential gas alarms, continuing testing procedures, and rigorous performance criteria for these devices, focused on the ability to detect flammable gases like methane and propane. For Kidde, strong consensus standards help guide our innovation. House Bill 2689 addresses a critical safety gap in residential homes across Massachusetts by improving early detection. With that, I urge the support for House Bill 2689 to improve early detection capabilities for your communities. And thank you for your time. And there was a question earlier that I would like to address, if that's okay.
Sure.
The representative asked if there's battery alternatives. We do not make one, but there is other companies that do.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.